My name is Ashley Lee. I'm the principal at Bridgeport Elementary School, and my research is on progress monitoring and its effects on student reading proficiency at my school. This is for IL 632 with Dr. O'Neill. So, what is progress monitoring? Progress monitoring is the standard process of evaluating progress towards a performance target or goal based on rates of improvement from frequent assessments, usually weekly or bi-weekly, for a specific skill. Our specific skill is reading, and this is all based around the Literacy Act for the state of Alabama. We do get assessments. We do assessments weekly. We will look at those in our data meetings, but this project is more based off of monthly assessments from our STAR data, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. So if you're not familiar with the Alabama Literacy Act, I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. The state of Alabama has required that all students be at grade level in reading by the end of their third grade year. If they're not on grade level by the end of their third grade year, they will retain them for up to 2 years if they're a general ed student. If they're a special education student, they will retain them for up to 1 year. That's not the only thing that the Literacy Act entails. There's a ton to it, such as schools required to offer intervention, and it has to be a state-approved intervention program. You can actually see mine in my video a little bit. I have some of my Spire boxes over there ready to go for the next school year. Creating student portfolios so that way if they do pass the state standardized test, we can provide evidence to say this student is on grade level. Maybe they just had a bad day taking that test. We also have to offer before or after school tutoring. At my school, we do offer it before for the first 30 minutes before class starts. And there's a ton more, but these are just the basics of the Literacy Act of 2019. So my study hypothesis. Bridgeport Elementary will benefit from using the progress monitoring model used at the school during the 2022-23 school year to increase reading proficiency even further than the year before by reviewing student grades kindergarten through 4th grade. For this study, our hope is that by using this program to progress monitor students consistently, will raise their reading proficiency level from August 2022, which is just next month, all the way to May 2023. So that's our study time frame. So the actual timeline of this next school year. So STAR and CBM assessments will be given each month for the data collection aspect of the study. There will be 3 major data collection points throughout the year. This is what our district pools. We do beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year. Now, we look at the data from these STAR and CBMs every month. So our teachers on our struggling students will give those curriculum-based measures, which are just 1 minute test. We will look at those at our monthly meeting and our monthly STAR meeting, our STAR test. So all of our teachers take the STAR test or give our STAR test to our students, every student, every month, and that's just to give us more data points to see if what we're doing in the classroom is actually working. We are going to look at these a little bit more in depth. Those are just to make sure we're doing Tier 1 instruction, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction correctly. These are what we're actually going to use for the study. So in August, beginning of the year data will be collected when the students first get to school during the first week of school. This will serve as our starting point for the study. In December, middle of the year data will be collected after the first semester for a mid-year point to monitor what we need to change moving forward. And then lastly, end of year data will be collected at the end of the school year during May. This will probably be the last 2 weeks of school. This will serve as our last and final data collection for the study. So a little bit of a breakdown of our students. We're going to use all of our students at Bridgeport Elementary School for the study. So there's not necessarily a small sample, even though we're a small school. Students in grades K through 4th grade at Bridgeport Elementary School in Bridgeport, Alabama will be used for this study. The actual size of the population will fluctuate throughout the year as students move in and out of school. That's any school. We're going to progress monitor all of our students regardless if they've come in August or if they come in April. It will fluctuate a little bit, so I can't give a definite number. I will say that we usually have around 175 students K through 4th grade, and we expect that this coming up year. So their ethnicity breakdown, we are almost all Caucasian. We're usually 92%, 91.8% Caucasian. African American, we're 4.4%. And then we have some other and Native Americans as well. I would like to also say about our population that we are a Title I school. We are in a rural area, and it's extremely poverty stricken. So some possible threats to my study. Teacher turnover. Just this last year, we had a few teachers get new jobs, new promotions throughout the year, got to move closer to home. So we're going to have some teachers coming in and out, and that's going to affect the results. We're not going to have consistent results as far as what the teacher is doing in the classroom. And that's just something that you have to deal with. Student life. These students are going through a lot. The majority of our students do not have a well-established home. They do not have both parents at home. We call DHR weekly at our school. It's not something that we're proud of, but it is something that we have to do in order to make sure our students are safe. So I just put that on there to let you guys know that our students are dealing with so much more other than their academic life. We tend to focus on academics, but they might not be in the best mind frame when they come into school every day, and that's going to affect their academics as well. As we all know, COVID, you never know. COVID could hit pretty hard again, and we could shut down again. We have no idea. It's still, even if we don't shut down schools again, which I highly doubt, it's going to affect students that do get COVID and their family members that get COVID, because they're going to be out for weeks at a time for health precautions and safety precautions. So that's going to affect their academics as well. Program problems. There's always going to be problems within the program. Maybe we're not progress monitoring the most effective way. We're going to try. And then, of course, teacher life. Teachers are also humans. They're going to be going through things. There's going to be teachers that are going to probably be going through divorce or, God forbid, a family member dying. Those things are going to affect how well they're teaching their instruction in their classroom. So these are all things that could potentially hurt the study and not give the correct results. So what variables are we going to be testing? So we have an independent and a dependent variable in this study. The independent variable is going to be the progress monitoring model itself. It does not depend on anything else. It is something that we're bringing in from the outside, and it is completely independent of anything else in our study. The dependent variable is going to be the student's reading proficiency rate, which is going to be determined by our STAR reading assessment, which is provided through us by Renaissance. This variable is dependent on progress monitoring, so it's going to depend on the independent variable, which is the model of progress monitoring. So what are our anticipated findings? This is what we hope to find. We hope to find that reading proficiency rates are going to increase with the use of this progress monitoring model through the STAR assessment program. We're also going to we're going to hope that the implementation of this progress monitoring is going to be something that we can do year after year after year, if it's going to be a positive effect. Once the results come back, and if there is a positive correlation between progress monitoring and reading rates, we will put this into our yearly routine and our data meetings moving forward. So that's what we hope to do. We also hope or expect to see an increase in reading proficiency rates of students that are already on grade level. So we talk a lot about the students that aren't proficient and the ones that are, in the red or below grade level, and because they are important, we really want to get those up to grade level. But what we don't talk about a lot of the times is the students that are on grade level. They deserve as much attention on their academics as the ones that are below grade level. So with progress monitoring and with the STAR assessment in our monthly data meetings for this progress monitoring model, we hope to see an increase in those students as well. So all students across the board should improve their reading proficiency rate regardless of what grade level they are on. So those are our hopeful findings or anticipated findings for this study. And then finally, we're going to share the results. Who are we going to share these results with? So we're going to share the results with the teachers, of course. They will be in these data meetings with us monthly, but they will not have an insight or a look at the before and the final results until the very end of school year. So we will share those with a presentation. Our leadership team will at the end to show them the findings, whether or not this model worked. We also have a curriculum coordinator at our district, so we hope to share the positive results with her so that we can maybe share this with the rest of the district. And if it's a positive correlation for this progress monitoring model on our student reading proficiency rates, we hope to present this, our leadership team, to the local school board for one of our board meetings. We hope to share our positive results. So maybe that can get out there. Our parents and communities can see what we've done, hopefully if it's positive, and we can move forward with a district plan.